Shalom, this is your brother Adah with a really short lesson. Before I get started, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem YAHAWASHI, Bahashem Rakakwadas. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone of whom I learned from, and a shalom to all the rest of the elect men, hopefully elect, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the hopefully elect to the marriage supper of the Lamb, and that is YAHAWASHI. I was listening to this really good lesson by the brother from GMS Babylon is Falling. I believe he's a UK brother, and I don't know if he's specifically linked to this other brother named Otis, who he's not an official member yet, but he does acknowledge the elders and the apostles, the great millstone, and he also is out in the UK. I listen to him a lot, but he's going into the how he's going into Job. Talking about the fiat currency, you know, the MOTB. He mentioned, I'm going to pull a line off of what he mentioned that made me think, it inspired me to think of P. Diddy's current situation. And then I thought, wait a minute, that's just like what's going to happen to the elect of Esau when they go into their underground bunkers. When they come into the fullness of their sufficiency, they're going to be in straits. And so I went into the Edemon and looked up those three words. I was like, man, that's exactly what we see. What we see happening with P. Diddy. P. Diddy's like a billionaire, right? And he's offering $50 million to get himself out of jail, to bail himself out. And Esau is so bent on making him the face of this stuff that Esau actually really does. P. Diddy's not innocent. He's wicked. He's a wicked two-thirds. But he's not Esau, right? And Esau does those things. And the reason why P. Diddy was able to get away so long with what he was doing was because he had the green light from Amalek and Esau, man. But Esau, Amalek, they're going to throw him under the bus and make him the face of this, which is going into them also building a case, putting Israelites in a bad light, the accuser of the brethren, as we go into with everything you see happening at the border, how they're blaming the northern kingdom with everything, and now P. Diddy and all the so-called Jakes, all the Jakes that are connected to him that are two-thirds, they're gonna be used to basically cast a bad light on the Israelites. But it's also the judgment of the Most High. That's the covenant death spoken about in Isaiah, I believe, the covenant death. But I just want to let this man play. I'm gonna let him say what he's gonna say, and then I'm gonna pull some precepts, and then we'll be done.
Look for his goods in the fullness of his sufficiency. That's when the chip is going to be introduced. He shall be in straits, trouble of his sufficiency. It says, there shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, that's when the chip is going to be introduced. He shall be in straits, trouble. So ain't talking about a straight line. He's going to be in difficulty. Because when the chip's introduced, we're going to be at war. We're going to go to war. This war has to happen. Everything we see taking place in the Middle East for a reason. Everything we see taking place within the financial institutions is for a reason. Because in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. That word straits there is not talking about a straight line. He's going to be in difficulties.
Strong's H3334. Yatseer.
He's going to be in straits, to bind, be distressed, be in distress, be cramped, be narrow, be scant, be in straits. So he's going to suffer distress.
Okay, so it says, so I'm going to pull that precept up. Look at this, man. This is awesome. I was listening to this. I was like, man, what are the... So I got the Edelman online. I went to the Edelman online and pulled these up. Let me see. Hold up. Salakia. Okay. So there goes the word straight. The same word our brother was defining, right? Look at it. This is straight, and then that's also straight, right? Okay, so straight, narrow or wide. If you look at it a little bit lower, you see severely restricted. Look on the bottom. Of a way of life severely restricted. Okay, so that's intense. So think about this. It's talking about the elites of Esau. It's not talking about all the Edomites, because the Edomites on the bottom are going to be destroyed when America goes through Jacob's trouble and everything explained in 2nd Esdras 15 and 16. All the low-level Edomites are going to be dead. They're going to be fighting for their lives, right? This is talking about the elite of Esau, Amalek, and the upper echelons, right? So we see they're going to be in straits, but look, what's the fullness? What's the fullness? And what's the sufficiency? So the word fullness is what? State of being stated or satisfied. Wholeness, totality, completion. I know if you go on the dollar bill, there is the gods have granted us. It talks about the New World Order. So this totality, this completion is talking about the upper echelon of Esau, Amalek, and what they have been planning on the left-hand side the entire time they've been in power, which is what? Some attempt to keep the throne to keep YAHAWASHI from getting on the throne of King Dawuda, right? From YAHAWASHI coming back to claim his throne, trying to turn around prophecy, trying to stay in rulership forever, and in the process, killing off the earth, defiling the earth, polluting the earth, just doing every form of manner of wickedness, right? So in the fullness of their deception, in the fullness of their sword, in the fullness of their wickedness, okay, in the fullness of what they've been given on the left-hand side, right, their deception, which then leads to what? Their sufficiency, which is what? The sufficient means, or their wealth. All of the fucking resources they have stolen and held back and hoarded on the planet Earth. They got all the resources. So in the fullness, right, of their wickedness and their rulership, which led to them having the sufficiency, once they obtain all this wealth and power, at the same time, because of prophecy, they're going to be in straits. They're going to be in a narrow, confined space. Okay? They're going to be just like Diddy. They're going to be just like Diddy, a billionaire inside of a prison with no way to bail himself out. With all that money he's trying to offer up. Let's see if we can pull that up really quick. And then I got some more precepts to show you that pretty much based on, I just got the understanding, or some of the understanding of that project. Wait a minute, Esau has basically painted himself into a corner. He can't get out. All this work he's done, he has locked himself into a corner. And I'm going to show you what that corner is. Let me see. P. Diddy, or Diddy, 50 million bond denied. $50 million bond. It denied. Who denies? Okay, Sean Diddy Combs offers $50 million bond, but it gets denied. Okay, right? We're seeing all this. We know that. So look, so he's wicked. He did this to himself. He made the covenant with death. Let's pull that up real quick. So, and I'm going to use that precept. I took a photo of it. But the covenant of death, I believe it's in Isaiah. Covenant. And this is directed at us. Covenant of death. This is directed at the Israelites, not to make covenants with Esau, because Esau is as death and hell. So the covenant with death is talking about the covenant with Amalek, the covenant with Esau, because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death. It's talking about the inner thoughts of the 2/3, the boule, the sold out Israelite bloodlines or whatever that are in connection with Esau on the left hand side. They're Israelites. They have all the music and the physical and even the invention type abilities of Israelites. They are Israelites, but they have they're sold out. All your politicians, all your Michael Jordans, your Michael Jacksons, your Eddie Murphys, Kevin Hart's, all that. Anybody that's on television that you see very successful, they are in some form of understanding on how Esau gets down on the left-hand side, and they partake of those rituals in order to be on that platform to make their money. And that's what this is going into. And even with the Christians, like your TD Jakes, your Creflo Dollars, they're all involved in that stuff. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell, we are at agreement. So there goes your death and hell, the descriptions of who Esau, Edom is. When the overflowing scourge, and a scourge goes into a judgment or a whip. So the judgments of the Most High, the last days, the wrath of YAHAWASHI shall pass. So when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come to us. Because what? We're going to have some type of provision, some type of wealth. We're going to be in the know, and we're going to be able to protect ourselves. No, dude, that's not going to happen. It shall not come to us, for we have made lies our refuge. So in order to do a covenant, or to be in agreement with hell and death and hell, right, which is a man, a race, Esau, Edom, the father of lies, the liar, right? You have to make lies. You have to make all of his deceptions your refuge. Because everything and anything Esau speaks on is a fucking lie. He cannot tell the truth. And under falsehood have we hid ourselves. So that's going into what P. Diddy is going into. But I want to reach into this and say, look, P. Diddy's one of the wicked 2/3 Israelites, right? But he's also a type of shit. You look at him. He did everything right like Esau's doing, and Esau himself is going to end up the same way as Diddy. Just like Diddy was a terror, right? Just a wicked, proud, arrogant, unclean, abominable, ritualistic, abominable, sexual, deviant, abominable deviant. So is Esau. And Esau is going to end up just like this in the sufficiency. Let's go to it. Let me pull up that precept. So we see straits, right? A restricted way of life, right? So in the fullness of Esau's wealth, in the fullness of his rulership, in the fullness of his dominion, in his power, in his destructive behavior on the earth, once he has the whole earth subdued and destroyed, right? The mark of the beast, provoking the wrath of the Most High. He then what? He has to go underground, you guys. This is why they have the underground $1 trillion bunkers, because the safest place to avoid a nuclear exchange is where? You either got to be in the chariots above the firmament looking down, or you got to be 4 or more miles underneath the earth outside of the continent of North America to survive. And this is what he's been doing. And this is where he's going to be in straits at, because that's not living. That is not living. Revelations, and this is how we know. Look, Revelation 6:15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. This is talking about your underground $1 trillion bunkers, the networking that they've been preparing this whole time, because they already knew on the left-hand side, they understood the Apocrypha, that's why they took it out. 2nd Ezra 13. They know that the chariots are coming. They know that there's going to be a nuclear exchange. They're gonna be the vehicle of the nuclear exchange, but they're going to lose. Revelation 6:16. And said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. And right here, just by this prophecy alone, we understand that the elect, the elite of the wicked, we understand that the higher echelons of Amalek and Esau, known as Lucifer in Isaiah 14, they understand on some level who Yahweh, YAHAWASHI is. They know that they exist. They know. They just don't serve him. Revelation 6:17. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So they're going to be in the underground bunkers when they're saying this. There goes your straits, right? Job 20:22. And in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall be upon him. And there goes Jeremiah 16:16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahweh, Hashem YAHAWASHI, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. And that's when we're going to dig them out in our glorified bodies. Once YAHAWASHI comes in and destroys the armies, the war in heaven at Armageddon, and America's destroyed, this is going to take place afterwards. So I was just like, man, I was listening to that brother talk about the straits. I was like, wait a minute. P. Diddy is in straits, and he's in the fullness of his sufficiency. P. Diddy's at the top of his game, right? Financially. He made all that money. He was at the peak of his career. He was revered, and you know, he had a what do you call it? A reputation. And then boom, a bigger fish came and got his ass, and that's Esau. Well, who's the bigger fish to Esau? Yahweh Bahashem YAHAWASHI, the man of war, you guys. And so we see this, man, and Esau has painted, he's going to paint himself into a corner, or he's painting himself into a corner based on how prophecy writes out his story, and he cannot do anything other than what prophecy says, because the Most High declares unto man what is his thoughts. Let me see if I can get one more thing. What was I thinking? Nope, that's it. So to keep the story short, I pray that this lesson was edifying. Let me pull up that one more time. So look at this. This is all crazy. This is this dude getting his judgment. Now I will say this: the way the media, the Edomite media, the Amalekite media, and the way they are portraying this, it's all wicked. They do not care about women. Okay, this is not about Cassie. It's not about, oh, he was beating up a girl. Those are the things that they know that they have socially engineered America, the minds of the Babylonians, the Egyptians in America. They understand that that's what people emotionally get triggered to because of the queen of worship, you know, the queen of heaven worship. You know, they exalt the woman and they accuse the man. Those are the things. But the people that are accusing him, the race of people that have the power to stop him for what he does, they are involved in this. This is what they do on a consistent basis. So for them to be accusing him, they're just bringing him down. For whatever reason they're doing this, there's an element of distraction to it. There's an element of just them making him the face, the feast of blood. But this is what they do. It's in Wisdom of Solomon 12. So look at this. These are ancient wicked practices that the elite of the Edomites, they operate in. So look at verse, so we're going to read from verse 3 a little ways down, okay? The Wisdom of Solomon 12, verse 3. For it was thy will, talking about the Most High, to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of the Holy Land, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices, and also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and the feasts of blood, with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute for help. Okay, so that goes into those old ancient left-handed practices of child sacrifice, child molestation, and human sacrifice, and however you got to traffic in human blood on the left-hand side in order to get power. That's breaking it down right there. So the people that gave Diddy the green light to act like a maniac, this is what they do. So them bringing him, but they understand that the nation doesn't understand this. So they're going to accuse him, oh, he was beating up women, he was sex trafficking, he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil, blah, blah, blah. There's multiple reasons why they're doing all this. But the hilarious thing is prophecy says what? The very thing they are doing, how the Most High is using them to do what he's doing to P. Diddy, they're going to be the exact same way. They're going to be in jail trying to bail themselves out, and they're not going to be able to do it based on what prophecy says. They're going to be in the fullness of their sufficiency, right? For in the fullness of his sufficiency. That's talking about the top of all this labor and work they've been doing to get themselves to the tip-top completion of their left-handed weirdness, weirdo-ness, freakiness. And when they finally get there, they got all the resources of the earth. They got all the nations in deception. they've killed off, a lot of the 2/3 wicked Israelites, right? Trying to get the throne, trying to get the blessing back, right? And then, but they're underground because they know the chariots are coming, and they're underground because they know the arrows are going to be launched across the ends of the earth, the ICBM missile exchange, and they know they got to be off the top of the ground, off land, because of the fallout. Okay, and they're going to be painted. They're going to have done all this labor, and they're going to have painted themselves in the corner. And they're not going to be able to step out. And YAHAWASHI is going to do them just like they're doing Diddy right now. I pray that this lesson somewhat edifying. I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, YAHAWASHI, by Hashem, Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone, of whom I learned from. And shalom to the other brothers, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect Israelites to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is YAHAWASHI. This is Brother Radah. Shalom.